Hello, and welcome to Courageous Doctors, the new show for you and your doctor. On the show today, we're going to talk about Obamacare updates, other interesting healthcare news, and health and safety tips. Now let's begin. The Washington Post says that the ACA, the Obamacare health insurance, actually did better than we thought it would do this year. We're at 11.8 million signed up, and that's only down 400,000 from last year. Now, the White House Council of Economic Advisors for the President, one of the President's main agendas has been to lower the cost of pharmaceutical drugs, especially in Medicare, but for all of us. So his Council of Economic Advisors has made this a priority. And listen to some interesting articles in the papers that came out from this. Washington Post did a whole article on easing of government regulations, and somehow easing the regulations has something to do with a pharmacy making a cheaper drug. The New York Times talked about states that can now join in on negotiating prices. The whole point is President Trump wants Medicare to negotiate drug prices, which he can't do now, in order to get better competition, better pricing competition. But now the states are also getting involved, and they've been doing this throughout the year, if you guys have noticed. We want to expand the drug coverage that's now under Medicare, cap what we as patients have to pay. And this is interesting, restrict drug reimbursement on the 340B drug discount program. This is a special program that was supposed to save us money and supposed to work, but they need to fix it a little. Moving Medicare Part B drug coverage into Part D, where we have more control, and maybe can start negotiating prices. And let's see, CNBC now shifts to the FDA director, the Food and Drug Administration. These are all Trump appointees, but there's been a lot of congressional hearings, if you've been noticing lately, dealing with pharmaceutical companies and drug benefit managers, and the FDA is now coming in and commenting, and he did this on CNBC, where he does not like the rebate system, because what happens in rebates is huge benefit managers that insurance companies hire to buy cheaper drugs from pharmacies for their patients. The pharmacies will then give a rebate discount to these benefit managers that pass it on to the insurance companies. But if we have to go into a pharmacy and get a drug that's not covered or pay a large copay, we pay full price. So this rebate system isn't helping us. It's only helping the insurance companies and the people, these benefit management companies, selling it to the insurance companies. Let's see. Bloomberg News said that there were two drug managers, you may have seen them in the news, who had a system set up where they could have a special pharmacy. For example, there's a very expensive dermatology drug that I like using. Regular pharmacies won't cover it, so I go to a special pharmacy and the patients get it with no problem. Apparently, special pharmacies is a way of getting around denial of insurance coverage. And but Bloomberg News says that somehow this was leading the pharmaceutical companies to have even higher drug costs. I'm not sure how Bloomberg what they were really getting at there, because I know my patients in special pharmacies can get a drug they couldn't get. I'm not sure why that would make pharmaceutical drug prices go up, but I guess with competition, they're going to end up charging more than less. It's a little screwy. And let's try to take one more look at this drug price problem. Big Law Business said that insurance companies, and this is very interesting, are now merging with pharmacies like CVS and Walmart. They're buying each other out. And so this is supposed to be to make it easier. We've talked about this before on the show. The insurance companies are saying, well, now that we have outlets in pharmacies, if you can't get in to see someone like myself as a doctor, maybe they can get in to follow up at the pharmacy and see a nurse practitioner, and then they'll have better covering their care for after surgery or what have you. Now, we as hardworking physicians disagree with that. We think it's better to have a medical home, the American Medical Association, the Academy of Pediatrics, Internal Medicine, Family Practice. We want one place where patients can go. But the idea here is that I think what's really behind it has nothing to do with patient care. That's just a bunch of bull, because you're better off seeing your own doctor. I think what's really happening is they're taking advantage of the fact that patients are afraid to leave work and find it more convenient to go to these places after hours. And for them, it's a way to get the price of drugs down, because if CVS buys an insurance company, then what's going to happen is their patients are going to, the insurance company will have to pay less for drugs because the pharmaceutical company is going to find a way to get it to them more cheaply. So it all has to do with money and drugs, and probably has nothing to do with me as a physician, but of course they all say that. Let's see, Fox News, moving on, says that the Health and Human Service Secretary wants patients to have more transparency and seeing what hospitals are charging. They don't want you to go into a hospital and get charged a bill and not even know if it was on there or covered. And in fact, Governor Murphy is probably just about to sign a bill that's passed both the State Assembly and Senate that says that this can no longer go on, where somebody who is forced to pay an out-of-network price because they didn't know what the insurance company was going to pay or not should not have to pay it. This is soon going to become law if it wasn't already signed in New Jersey. Now, speaking about the governor, it's a different topic. Governor Murphy has recently expanded the medical marijuana regulations to include migraines and anxieties, Tourette's syndrome, in addition to chronic pain. And he took the patient's name off the public registry so that you don't have to feel bad, as if you, everybody in New Jersey can see that, you're smoking weed. So that was taken off. Star Ledger, the Assembly Health Committee has voted to make it harder for parents to use religious exemptions to avoid vaccinating their children. This has been going on for years. It's been tougher and tougher for people to get out of vaccinating children. And the Star Ledger, this is a very nice thing to end this section on. Star Ledger says that Governor Christie appointed a very good old dear friend of mine, wonderful doctor, Dean Johnson of the Rutgers Medical School, is now chairing the University Hospital Board of Trustees. University Hospital in Newark is our teaching hospital for the medical school. It's been losing money for many years. And so now the dean of our medical school, wonderful, wonderful doctor, is going to try to find a way to get it from losing money. Good luck to you, Dean Johnson.
Wax Den is a full-body unisex studio. We specialize in hard wax, which is gentler on the skin. We do all types of waxing from head to toe. You can come in with your friends, so you have the moral support. We have hors d'oeuvres. You do have to have a minimum of 8 people for that party, and you would schedule that. Everybody's looking for a hand to hold and then someone to share the experience with, so you can look that up on our website. We have prenatal waxing. We take a little bit more time with the new moms, and a lot of people will schedule that once they hit their second trimester. We do have a waxing membership. It's set up just like a gym membership. It's for Brazilians. It's $45 a month, and you come in just like you would go to the gym. It comes out automatically, and you just show up for your wax. We have several memberships for different services. We also have wax packages. The phone number is 973-542-8442. The website is www.thewaxden.com. We have 24-hour online booking.
Come to the Wax Den. We wax it all.
Hi, I'm Ingrid Burke.
And I'm Gina Unger.
Gina has known Dr. Berry in a professional and personal capacity for many years, and we are thrilled to be in his building. We are psychotherapists, and we offer mental health counseling for ages 12 and up. We do individual, couples, and family counseling. We're also excited to say that we have groups that we have for teenage boys and girls, for social skills, anger management, and self-esteem building. If you need to reach us,
check us out at lifeworksnj.com.
our phone numbers are also listed on that website if you'd like to contact us. Thank you.
Thank you.
Now let's move on to other healthcare updates. Let's talk first about outbreaks of illness. CBC News says that the flu is still going on. Honestly, in the office, we're moving on to different flus. I believe we're in an adenovirus epidemic now, crusty eyes, bronchitis, that sort of thing. Of course, this time of year, we see a lot of tree allergies too. We haven't seen much of the flu anymore. We haven't reported it in quite some time. They say that it's still here. CNN talked about a mumps exposure at a national cheerleading competition in Dallas. And CBC said the same thing in Delaware at 2 dance festivals. And apparently the mumps shot should protect you for 27 years in most people, but some people, up to 25%, it only lasts 8 years. So make sure you're still protected under mumps if you were exposed. Our Department of Health here in New Jersey cites a measles exposure case again. Somebody came through Newark Airport with measles. Remember that measles can take up to 3 weeks to come down with. So this happened back on March 12th. It's already about a month from there now, but I think if you were going to get measles, you would have had it by now. Department of Health talked about this E. coli outbreak. It's very scary. It's a serious one. Some people have died or gone to the hospital or needed kidney dialysis. It's in multi-states. It's going on now. We don't know what the source is, but if you're extremely ill, bloody diarrhea, get to the emergency room and ask to be checked for E. coli. CNN mentions that Lassa fever, which is like Ebola, is in Nigeria, and that's a problem. CNN says that the avian flu, you may have heard that there's been an avian flu outbreak in China, but don't be confused with the deadly avian flu that we're all scared of that can kill millions. This is more of a benign avian flu that broke out. Fox News says that Brazil is having a big problem with yellow fever. And if you're traveling to Brazil, you may have trouble getting vaccination because Brazil's run out of vaccines. Apparently, World Health is working on getting vaccines. Yellow fever is a horrible illness, mosquito-borne illness. It used to kill many, many people and still does a little bit each year, but this outbreak is really tough. I'll just say that some people actually own rats, and in 11 states they're contracting a new virus called the Seoul virus, spelled like Seoul, Korea. I don't know if that's where it comes from, but all right, let's talk about some recalls now, food poisonings. CNN says the chicken salad at Fairway grocery stores have salmonella, and that's in 5 states. It's made by Triple T Specialty Meats. So make sure that you're not, that the one you're getting hasn't been one recalled. CNN says that kratom, that herb that people take, it's like a painkiller, comes in teas and drinks in different forms. It actually has salmonella also, and it's sold at Trader Joe's in Trader Joe's in salads, the kohlrabi salad blend, 10-ounce pack, and the Walmart broccoli and cauliflower vegetable medley. So just be careful that you're not eating any of those. Let's move on. CNN says that the United Kingdom, Britain, has seen its first case of resistant gonorrhea. We've spoken a lot on this show about our fear of these resistant organisms. People do die of them. This person was over in Southeast Asia and contracted gonorrhea and brought it back to Britain, and they're having trouble treating it. So we'll stay tuned on that and see what happens there. CNN reports a Lancet report that lead is still causing deaths, which is unusual. We don't think of it, but people do die occasionally of lead, especially in their kidney disease and things. And so Science magazine, by the way, the Lancet report was from Britain. Science magazine says that this is very interesting, that a couple of Caltech scientists have found that cells in the body actually talk to each other using Morse code, which is very, very interesting. So the way I think it works is, we have electrical signals that we signal in the body by electrical charges, like a nerve charge. And the way it charges repetitively tells the cell what it should do. Should it divide? Should it implode and kill itself? Should it discharge something to another cell? So that there's almost like a Morse code signal that's now been discovered as the way cells talk to each other. Of course, we know cells are also being driven by nerves and hormones that attach to the cells and cause chemical processes that control them in the way they act. But this is where cells can actually talk to each other in a Morse code kind of way. That's really interesting. MIT Tech Review mentions that brewer's yeast is used to now make insulin, so that's a cheaper way of making insulin. And the Star Ledger says that 23andMe, that genetics test that you can find out where you come from, has some clearance to now tell you if you have some cancer genes. Now let's move on lastly to health and safety tips. The New York Times says that the National Academy of Sciences, and this is really terrifying, says that 1/4 of our drinking water in the United States violates federal standards. Fecal matter, arsenic, lead, copper, pretty disgusting stuff. Time magazine says that lavender and tea tree oils have caused large breast development in young boys. So be careful if you have young boys rubbing them down with lavender and tea tree oils. It might grow large breasts. Now, this is pretty scary. Newsweek says that a teen was paralyzed after eating a garden slug. I don't know why, if there was something wrong with this boy, why he ate a slug, but the slug was infected with rat lungworm, which had come from the feces of rodents, and the boy was paralyzed after eating it. Talking about poisonings, Fox News says that in England, a family was poisoned after cleaning up the coral in the bottom of their fish tank. It released some poison, and they all had to be taken to the hospital. It's just terrifying. Paletoxin it was called. CBS News, this is just unbelievable what people do. I've been in this business for so many years, but it's some things you just don't understand. Snorting condoms. I just don't understand that. Apparently, they suck it through their nose, it comes out their mouth, and some of them choke to death, and one lady got appendicitis. Figure that one out. It's pretty bad, I guess, but oh boy. Now, CNN says that amusement park accidents are going up. It's coming into summertime, so we have to be aware of this. You may think the federal government is regulating your amusement park, but did you know they only regulate the mobile parks? The big fixed parks, the great big ones that we all know about in the country, they're run by county and state, and you just got to hope they're keeping up with it. It's not the feds. So the Federal Consumer Product Safety Commission that works so hard to keep us safe only handles mobile carnivals that move around. They don't handle the carnivals where all these tragic accidents are happening. Let's see. Science Magazine said that Children's Hospital in Philly actually did a study that is just reaffirming that rear-facing baby seats do help in crashes, even if it's a rear-end collision, front side, whatever, it works. People Magazine, here's another recall. People Magazine said that Milo dog treats are recalled for having thyroid hormones. And I'm sure not all of them, but just check and see which ones, like the kitchen steak grillers and burger bites. Kitchen steak grillers and burger bites, Milo dog treats, have thyroid hormone. Huffington Post says that treats that actually have pentobarbital, which is a drug used to kill dogs, to put them to sleep when you have to euthanize your dog. Some of the brands, not harmful amounts, but some of the brands have this drug in it, including the big name ones, Gravy Train, Kibbles, Kibbles and Bits, Olroy, Skippy. So just make sure that your treat wasn't recalled because it had this pentobarbital in it. Seattle Times says that pet products Tukwicki Darwin's Natural are infected with salmonella and listeria. I can't even say it, but if you can buy it, just be careful. And now let's end with a few fun things. I always like to end this program with a few kind of fun eating tips and all. Food Network has given us some tips about choosing different foods. Like they said, if you eat egg whites only, you'll miss out on lutein, which is good for eyesight, folate, and vitamin D that apparently come from the yolk of the egg, so you may want to include a few yolks. If you choose 2% milk rather than skim milk, you still need to get some fat, so, maybe the 2% isn't bad because we still need some good fat to help our body run. If you think you're eating reduced fat peanut butter, remember it has the same calories as natural, and the natural has less sodium and sugar. If you're eating non-fat yogurt, it actually has more sugar and more artificial flavors and less protein and calcium. If you're eating low-fat cream cheese, you actually have more sodium. And wraps, we all think wraps are easier than sandwiches. One wrap has the same calories as 4 slices of bread. So just something to think about. Here's another interesting one. The Star Ledger, Judith Thalheimer, a registered dietitian, gives some tips. Eat 1.5 to 2 cups of fruit every day. Gives you your fiber, antioxidants, vitamins, and potassium. And avocado has good monounsaturated fats and potassium, has potassium like bananas. So people used to say avocados are fatty, but it's monounsaturated fats. And she also mentions apples, bananas, grapes, berries, citrus, pomegranates, and watermelon. Birdie magazine says that don't forget beets. It has vitamins and iron. We used to, when I was a kid growing up, we had borscht, a Russian dish. It's beet soup, and it was good for us. And this is the last fun thing to end on. CNN surveyed 10 nutritionists and said, what is your favorite snack? So I'll end the program with mentioning some of these. Almonds, Greek yogurt with berries and granola, tuna with crackers, berries with cheese, soup, peanut butter, and dry roasted chickpeas. And we'll let you be the deciding factor in what your favorite treat is. As always, it's been a pleasure to spend this time with you. We look forward to seeing you again next month. If you have any comments, please send them in and we'll share them on the next show.